The ancient Egyptians lived closely with animals. These creatures were not just part of their environment, but integral to their daily lives. From the bustling streets of ancient cities to the serene countryside, animals were everywhere. They were companions, workers, and even symbols of divine power. The bond between humans and animals in ancient Egypt was profound and multifaceted. The Nile River, the lifeblood of Egypt, provided a home for many creatures. Its waters teemed with fish, and its banks were alive with birds and other wildlife. The river was a source of sustenance and a vital part of the ecosystem. It was here that Egyptians observed the behaviors of animals, learning from them and incorporating their traits into their own lives. The Nile was not just a river. It was a symbol of life and abundance, deeply intertwined with the animal kingdom. Egyptians relied on animals for food and help with work. Oxen ploughed the fields, fish provided a steady food source, and donkeys carried heavy loads. These animals were essential for the survival and prosperity of ancient Egyptian society. They were more than tools. They were partners in the daily toil of life. The relationship between humans and animals was one of mutual dependence and respect. But animals were more than just useful. They were deeply respected. In art and hieroglyphs, animals were depicted with great care and reverence. They were seen as embodiments of certain qualities and virtues. For instance, the lion symbolized strength and courage, while the ibis represented wisdom and knowledge. These depictions were not mere artistic expressions, but reflections of the profound respect Egyptians had for the animal world. Egyptians believed that gods and goddesses could take the form of animals. Deities like Bastet, the cat goddess, and Anubis, the jackal-headed god, were worshipped and revered. These gods were thought to possess the qualities of the animals they resembled. This belief in the divine nature of animals elevated their status in society, making them sacred beings worthy of veneration. They saw divine qualities in the animals around them. Each animal was believed to carry a piece of the divine, a trait or characteristic that linked them to the gods. This connection was celebrated in art, literature, and religious practices. Animals were not just creatures of the earth. They were seen as bridges to the divine, embodying the mysteries and powers of the gods. Animals were believed to be messengers from the gods. They were thought to carry divine messages and omens, guiding humans in their daily lives. This belief was reflected in the way animals were treated and depicted. They were seen as intermediaries between the human and divine realms, capable of conveying the will of the gods to the people. Temples were built to honor animal deities. These sacred spaces were adorned with statues and carvings of animals, each representing a different god or goddess. The temples were places of worship and reverence, where people could connect with the divine through the animals they held sacred. These structures stood as testaments to the deep spiritual connection between humans and animals in ancient Egypt. Offerings and prayers were made to these gods and goddesses. People brought food, incense, and other gifts to the temples, seeking favor and blessings from the animal deities. These rituals were an essential part of religious life, reinforcing the bond between humans and the divine. The offerings were not just acts of devotion, but expressions of gratitude and respect for the animals that played such a vital role in their lives. Egyptians believed that by honoring these animals, they were honoring the gods. The rituals and ceremonies were ways to show reverence and maintain harmony with the divine. By respecting and venerating animals, Egyptians believed they were upholding the natural order and ensuring the favor of the gods. This belief system created a unique and enduring bond between humans and animals, one that was deeply rooted in the spiritual and cultural fabric of ancient Egyptian society.
Cats held a special place in the hearts of ancient Egyptians. They were admired for their grace, agility, and hunting skills. Cats were even mummified and buried with their owners. Bastet, the goddess of protection, joy, and motherhood, was depicted with the head of a cat. She embodied the warmth and fierceness of a mother protecting her kittens. Images of cats and Bastet were common in Egyptian homes. People wore amulets of Bastet for good luck and protection. Killing a cat, even accidentally, was a serious crime. The Nile River was home to powerful crocodiles. Egyptians both feared and respected these creatures. Crocodiles symbolized strength, power, and fertility. Sobek, the god of the Nile, was depicted with the head of a crocodile. He was believed to control the Nile's floods, which were essential for agriculture. Temples dedicated to Sobek often housed live crocodiles. Priests cared for these sacred animals. They adorned them with jewels and offered them food. The ibis, a long-legged wading bird, was revered for its intelligence. Egyptians associated the ibis with Thoth, the god of wisdom, writing, and magic. Thoth was often depicted as a man with the head of an ibis. He was believed to have given humans the gift of language. Scribes, who were responsible for writing, held Thoth in high regard. The ibis was a protected species in ancient Egypt. Killing an ibis, even accidentally, was considered a serious offense. Cows were highly valued in ancient Egypt for their milk, meat, and strength. They were associated with motherhood, nourishment, and the sky. Hathor, one of the most important goddesses, was often depicted as a cow or a woman with cow ears. Hathor was the goddess of love, beauty, music, and joy. She was believed to protect women during childbirth. Falcons, with their keen eyesight and ability to soar high in the sky, were associated with royalty and divine power. Horus, the god of kingship, protection, and the sky, was depicted as a falcon, or a man with a falcon head. Pharaohs believed they were the living embodiment of Horus on earth. The falcon's image was used in royal symbols and decorations. The Egyptians believed in life after death. They mummified humans to preserve their bodies for the afterlife. Animals, especially those associated with gods and goddesses, were also mummified. Millions of animal mummies have been discovered in catacombs throughout Egypt. Cats, crocodiles, ibises, and falcons are among the most commonly found mummified animals. Mummification was a way to honor these animals and their divine connections. It was believed that mummified animals could accompany people into the afterlife. Section 8. Taweret, the protective Hippo Goddess. Taweret, the Hippo Goddess, was a protective deity in ancient Egypt. She safeguarded mothers during childbirth and ensured fertility. Depicted with a pregnant hippo's body, lion's limbs, and crocodile's back, she symbolized nurturing and strength. Her images in tombs invoked her protective powers, ensuring the safety of the deceased and their loved ones. The Egyptians' reverence for Taweret is evident in the numerous artifacts and amulets discovered, reflecting her enduring guardianship. Anubis, the guardian of the underworld. Anubis, the jackal-headed god, was the protector of graves and the guide to the afterlife. He was deeply revered in ancient Egyptian culture. He played a crucial role in the mummification process and the journey of souls to the afterlife. Anubis ensured that the dead were properly prepared for their eternal rest. As the god of funerary rites, Anubis was also responsible for weighing the hearts of the deceased against the feather of Ma'at, determining their fate in the afterlife. Animals in ancient Egypt were more than just creatures of the land. They were symbols of life, power, and the gods themselves. Through their connection with the divine, they shaped the myths and rituals that defined Egyptian civilization for millennia.